I hosted a television show for the Disney Channel. And when you go to work for Disney, no matter whether you're going to be selling popcorn or you're a vice president, you literally have to go to Disney University. And for 2 weeks, you study the Walt Disney philosophy. You read books, you watch films, you get it. You understand what it was that Walt was trying to do and what it is, why he wants to bring you on the team. In fact, you're not an employee. You're a cast member. And the customers are not customers, they're guests. So these are your guests, and you're putting on a show, no matter where you are in the park or where you are in the company. Now, I keep talking about Disney because I think that they set the bar for customer service. I know this for a fact. There was a young lady. She worked at the front desk of the Grand Floridian Hotel, and the guest was checking out, and she says, "How did you enjoy yourself?" She says, "Well, everything was great until last night." "Well, what happened?" She says, "Well, they had the Kontiki show, and we went there, and I took all these pictures with a camera that I bought, and then I lost the camera. And so I lost all those great pictures of it. It was just a wonderful show." And she says, "Well, I'm so sorry to hear that." And already, in her mind, this young lady across the counter there has got an idea. And as the lady leaves, she puts her plan into action. And when she gets off at 6 o'clock, instead of going home, she goes and buys a camera. She goes to the show. She takes the pictures she thought, would imagine this woman would have taken, and then sends her the prints of all these with a very nice personal note. Can you imagine? Now, is that in the policy? Is that in the rules? Is that in your job description? No, it's not. And that's because you get it. And the reason she got it was because of the leadership that came from the top, because of the Disney philosophy, because of what it is you do. And when you empower those that you work with, when you give them that, not only example, but you give them literally what it is they can do on their own, because we're all creative. What an incredible, wonderful gift you have given them. Not only that, it goes back to the random act of kindness dynamic. Who's benefiting? The person you're doing it for, yourself, and those around you who find out about it. Think about every single one of you and where you have been in your lives and the things that you have done. Think about when you were courting your wives and how you knew that she was the one, and you were not going to give up until she said yes. And to this day, you remember all that. That's enthusiasm. That's the spirit within. You know, we're celebrating this incredible Battle of the Alamo, and I have to tell you about something that happened to me. And again, enthusiasm and where you are and how you dream and where you dream has nothing to do with where you are in your age. I had a gentleman come to my office, and he said he had an idea for something that did not exist in San Antonio, and that was a birthday. We were one of the only cities of our size that did not have an official birthday. Yes, we have Fiesta and all the other celebrations, but we don't have a celebration of the birth of our city, which is about 276 years ago. And he said the reason was they have two factions. The Canary Islanders, who felt that the birth of San Antonio happened when the King of Spain sent them to set up a municipality in what we call now Main Plaza. And then there was another faction who said, no, it started on the feast day of St. Anthony, when the priest and those people came years before, and they set up the birth of San Antonio. And so his idea was brilliant. His name was Frank Jennings. He said, let's call it Founders Day and celebrate everyone who made San Antonio what it is today, all throughout the years. A brilliant idea. His enthusiasm led to other people getting involved, myself included. We went to City Council. They approved it. And just last October, we celebrated the 7th Founders Day. Now, Frank died about 3 years ago, but it wasn't before he realized that dream. And I will tell you that when he walked into my office, he was 87 years old. 87 with a legacy to leave behind, and literally not looking a day behind. And he taught me something that I will never forget. In fact, he shared with me what I believe is the greatest quotation ever outside of the Bible. In fact, I have it on my business card. And if I give you one of these, it'll be on the back. It was actually said by a philosopher in the 3rd century named Philo of Alexandria. And what he said could have been said today because it applies to every one of us. He said, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a great battle." And how true that is. Who's to say that someone in this room is not suffering from a broken heart or carrying some really heavy burden? Who's to say that the person you see at the stoplight or in an elevator or walking in the supermarket isn't in that condition? We need to be kind to each other. And I will share with you what I believe is, the secret of life. A few years ago in Los Angeles, I was coming out of a dentist's office. In fact, it was in Westlake, California. And there was a little lady, her name was Mrs. Rosenberg. And I introduced myself to her because she looked lost. And she had kind of a brace around her neck. I think she'd been in an accident. And she was looking for her doctor. And I said, "Can I help you?" She says, "Yes, I'm looking for Dr. Brown's office. Do you know what Dr. Brown is?" I said, "No, but let's go look in the directory over here." And we're looking, and there's no Dr. Brown. And back then, there were no cell phones. So I said, "Hey, wait, there's a payphone over here. Let me call, and we'll find your Dr. Brown." She says, "You would do this for me?" I said, "Well, of course." You know, she looked like somebody's mom. I would want somebody to take care of my mother if she was lost. So sure enough, I called, and her doctor was across the street in another building. Well, there was some construction going on. I said, "I'll bring her over." Now, keep in mind, we're walking across the street. She's holding me. We're arm in arm. 5 minutes before, we were strangers. Now we're a couple. And as we walk across on this beautiful day in Westlake, California, I will never forget what she said, which I believe is the secret of life. She said, "You know, we're all here to help each other, aren't we?" And that is it. We are all here to help each other. We are here to help every single man and woman that comes into our path. And sometimes you don't have to go and find them. God puts them in your path for you. I get up every morning, and after I go through my whole ritual, I just look up and say, "Reporting for duty." And I know that someone is going to come. And again, someone's going to help me along the way. And someone has helped me. So my wish for you, no matter where it is you are in your life, is that you will let your enthusiasm come out and practice the art of living with enthusiasm. Thank you so much for having me.
Very inspiring. Very inspiring, especially for our young girls. For our girls and men.
He's one of those speakers that when he's done, you want to just start clapping, say, "Encore, encore, come back out and, talk some more," because it's very enjoyable to listen to.